example?
We definitely broke ground with it. I think it was funny, when we did The Tudors, it was the first time that you could have Horses, Swords and Castles as a TV show and people would buy it. There would have been no Game of Thrones without The Tudors first. It sort of broke that ground. And so then it was like, oh my God, we can tap into this whole plethora of historical drama and people are going to buy it. Not only are they going to buy it, they're going to buy it in droves, you know? I mean, it's like, I think The Tudors made $1 billion around the world, you know? So it shows the expansion of the audience. And of course, television is no longer television, it's home cinema. It's shot the same way as a cinema movie is shot. I think The Tudors was like, we spent $2 million per episode on The Tudors. So it was like big money to be spending on something. But it did. We were very proud that it sort of broke new ground. But it broke new ground in a way that wasn't historically accurate. Obviously, I don't look like Henry VIII. But that's the only way for it to get across to a younger audience. There's no way that a younger audience would have sat for 4 seasons watching a 300-pound red-haired guy. It's just not going to happen. They would turn off, you know? If you really want to do Henry as he was Henry, I mean, it was like you would cast the late Philip Seymour Hoffman. Would have been brilliant if you wanted to do a true historical version of Henry. But no, very, very few productions. I think there was one BBC production that did a true historical version of Henry. And it was like, people didn't watch it because you have to have a certain amount of sexuality, you have to have a certain amount of modernity to be able to get a young audience in. And we got a young audience with The Tudors. I think the audience was like 15 to 70 were watching it because it had many, many elements. It had, you know, of course it had the historical benefit, it had the castles, had the beautiful costumes by Joan Bergen. It had the beautiful cinematography by Osama Irawi. But it also had the youth, it had the glistening bodies, it had, you know, that sort of that sense of sexuality. And that was very, very important as a selling point for that.